Hello, Zach Spitzer aka Spitz VGC here, and in this video we will be breaking down my Week 7 matchup against Matt Dodds and the Undella Town Umbreons. Matt actually is not a regular VGC player, but a tournament organizer. He does judging for several VGC regionals and internationals. He is a tournament organizer for multiple venues inside of the indie VGC scene, and he's actually going to be on staff for this August's Pokemon World Championships. He, of course, wants to give himself an opportunity to dip his own toes into VGC as well. And despite being a relative newcomer, he is coming off of the heels of a commanding 2-0 win last week. So, our goal as we try to focus in on the playoffs is to make sure that Matt doesn't give us an opportunity to play spoiler. With that, let's get started. As a quick refresher, here is what the playoff picture looks like heading into this week. As you can tell, I am currently in 6th place. My win against Ted last week ended up giving me a little bit of wiggle room to work with, and because of this, there's actually a scenario here this week where I could lock up a playoff spot if some things go my way. But unfortunately, I can't do it with just a win on my end, so the only thing that I can really do is just focus on winning this week. If the other results end up going my way, that's great. But ultimately, those are out of my control. There's not really much I can do about that, and I know that if I win the next 2 weeks, that I will have my playoff spot locked up. So my focus, as per usual, is to win and to win big this week. Taking a look at Matt's team, there are immediately some familiar faces that stand out. The first, of course, is the king of VGC himself, Incineroar. Incineroar really doesn't need an introduction as to why he is so good and why he is Matt's S-tier pick, but what's especially dangerous is how it combos with the rest of the team. Alolan Ninetales can use its Snow Warning and Aurora Veil to really boost the defenses of the entire team, which pairs really well with Incineroar's Intimidate. Mega Feraligatr really likes the Fake Out pressure and the Intimidate as well to potentially help set up with a Dragon Dance and then hit for big damage with something like Liquidation, Aqua Jet, or those Dragon-type Body Slams or Double Edges. And then Beartic also combos really well with Alolan Ninetales Snow Warning. Its ability Slush Rush allows it to double its speed when it's inside of the snow, and this is something that Matt actually used to his advantage last week, picking up his first win using a Life Orb Rock Slide set alongside that Slush Rush. So that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye out for. Other Pokemon here. The Espeon, I think, is really good into my team as it outspeeds and potentially KOs my Paldean Tauros. Dragalge, with its poison typing, can threaten my Mega Clefable for huge damage, and Umbreon can also potentially threaten my team with stuff like Fake Out and Yawn, and Foul Play into Pokemon like my Delphox. Decidueye, of course, can also really give my Gourgeist and my Paldean Tauros a tough time if I let it stay on the field for too long. So there's a lot of Pokemon here that I really have to keep an eye out for this week. As far as Pokemon that I think Matt could bring, I think that the Incineroar is absolutely a given. I think Umbreon is a given, and I think that Espeon and Mega Feraligatr are all givens. I'm very confident, at least, that those 4 will come to the matchup. I do think there's kind of a world where Umbreon could be brought to the bench because it kind of does the same thing that Incineroar does. But I think it has a really good matchup into some of my Pokemon, so I could see Matt bringing it this week. Dragalge, I think, is also going to be a given for this week. He's brought it 8 different times. It's got a positive KD for him, and the poison typing is really good into my Clefable, so I expect that to be a bring this week. Interestingly enough, Espeon and Decidueye still only have 3 brings for Matt this season, so he does need to get 1 more to not get penalized for it. So we could see either Espeon or Decidueye come this week. We'll have to see. And even though there is a good possibility that I think that the snow mode could be benched this week, the reason for that being, of course, that Mega Delphox threatens both of them for super effective damage with Heat Wave, and Mega Aggron can threaten them with really strong Heavy Slams and Body Presses. I don't entirely want to rule out the possibility of him bringing both of those Pokemon. So realistically, I think all 8 could come this week. In practice, I didn't see the snow mode, but would not be surprised to see him bring it for this week. Let's break down the team that I will be using this week, and it starts with Game Loss, the Mega Aggron. So, taking a look at Matt's team this week, I noticed that a lot of his Pokemon don't like to see Mega Aggron. Pokemon like Espeon, Decidueye, and Beartic, and Alolan Ninetales can't really hit Mega Aggron once it gets set up, and Mega Aggron can also hit Pokemon like Umbreon and Incineroar for super effective damage with Body Press, and that aforementioned Beartic and Alolan Ninetales for super effective damage with Heavy Slam. So my game plan here is that Game Loss will be my main damage carry for this week. Very standard set, very standard moves. The big thing I'll be keeping an eye on is that Incineroar. I think there's a real chance that Matt will bring a special attacking Incineroar this week as a counter for Aggron. So I want to make sure that I can scout out for that and attack it as needed if I expect that that'll be coming around. But Game Loss will be my main damage carry and will get its 4th appearance, giving me over that quota that I need for this season. Next is Team Sheet Error the Clefable. So this Clefable is a little bit unusual from some other sets that I run. It's more specially bulky. It's specifically trained to survive most, if not all, Dragalge Sludge Bombs. Even though Dragalge doesn't really have a high special attack stat, its adaptability ability gives Sludge Bomb a 33% damage boost, so I want to be able to survive that hit adequately, and the spread allows me to do that. Icy Wind is an interesting form of speed control, given that Clefable is a little bit slower, but I want to draw your attention to the 6 points of speed that I have invested into Clefable for this week. So, with that speed, Clefable will be able to outspeed both uninvested Umbreon and little to no invested Incineroar. And so, with Icy Wind, there's a couple of different ways that this can help. First, if Beartic ends up coming through in the lead, I can use Icy Wind to slow it down and allow one of my other Pokemon to pick up a KO. And if it doesn't end up coming through, it's just Incineroar or Umbreon, I can use Icy Wind on Clefable to slow them down, and then have Aggron follow up with a Body Press to get around something like a Yawn or an Incineroar Fire-type attack. So it'll be a form of speed control for me that I think will be really useful. Otherwise, the rest of the moves are really standard. I agonized a little bit over the ability. I thought that Unaware might have some use, but my game plan for Tauros this week is to use Intimidate a lot. So I think that kind of counteracts a little bit, and so I wanted to try and avoid that, and we're just going to go with Magic Guard to get around potential poisons from Sludge Bomb or burns from Incineroar. Next, we have Ref, the Tauros. So this Tauros is specifically trained to hit that second attack bump on the Adamant side, and we're just going for max speed to combo really well with that Clefable Icy Wind. The moveset is pretty standard for this week. The big thing, of course, is that we're not running Wave Crash, we're running Raging Bull instead. I think there's a real chance that Matt drops Alolan Ninetales this week, given its poor matchup into the Megas, but if he happens to bring it and he happens to set up an Aurora Veil, I think Raging Bull could be a really good way to get around it. So I want to be able to respect that with one of my attacks. Aqua Jet is coming back onto the moveset for this week. I think that having that priority is going to be really important, especially against Pokemon like Espeon that could hit Tauros for super effective damage. I think that the priority could be really, really effective in knocking out Espeon if I can get it low. I kind of went back and forth a little bit on potentially giving Tauros the Choice Scarf, because a Choice Scarf Tauros can still outspeed Beartic even with the Slush Rush speed boost, but I ultimately decided that Protect was going to be just too important for me to not use it this week. So we are instead going for White Herb. So White Herb will allow me to get around Incineroars and Intimidate and potentially knock it out with a Close Combat or a Raging Bull, depending on what the item choice is for Incineroar. Scouting out that item is especially going to be important, as I think multiple of Matt's Pokemon could have Chople Berry this week, and so I want to be able to scout that out so I know where my close combats will land. Next, we have Team Sheet the Absol, and this set is super straightforward. I really like Scope Lens, I really like Super Luck, so this set will allow me to capitalize on that specifically. Sucker Punch is a really good priority attack that can hit Espeon for super effective damage, and also hit several of Matt's Pokemon for a lot of damage. Stone Edge allows me to OHKO Incineroar, Beartic, Alolan Ninetales, and several others thanks to that guaranteed critical hit, and that guaranteed critical hit also allows me to work around Incineroar's Intimidate. Psycho Cut gives me an option to hit Dragalge for super effective damage, and of course, because of its heightened critical hit ratio with the Scope Lens and the Super Luck, it is also guaranteed critical hits with Psycho Cut. So I think this is kind of a jack of all trades Absol this week. This is another Pokemon that I need to bring to one more game in order to hit my quota, and I would be very surprised if that didn't end up happening this week. I think its moveset is just too useful and too good for me to not use. Next, we have Team Check the Delphox. So, with this Delphox, I am trained to hit that second modest bump or it might be the third modest bump, but I'm hitting a stat bump specifically with that modest stat for Mega Delphox specifically. The speed allows me to outspeed max speed Alolan Ninetales. This one, there was a world where I could have gone max speed, and then if the Baratic was adamant and not a speed boosting nature, then I could, in theory, speed tie a Slush Rush Baratic. But I ultimately decided that it was a little bit too finicky for me to work with, and I figured that the bulk might carry me through a little bit more. Heat Wave and Psychic are extremely standard for this Delphox. The big move here is Encore. So he's got several Pokemon that could use moves like Fake Out or a setup move, and so Encore gives me an opportunity to lock them into that setup move or into that Fake Out. And it can hit Dark types as well because it's not Prankster. So this will be my way to kind of get around any potential setup shenanigans that Matt might want to set up this week. This can also Encore a Ninetales into something like Aurora Veil as well. So I think it could have some really useful utility this week. Rounding us out, we are bringing Gourgeist back, aka Forward of Fire. So this Gourgeist is trained to also be specially bulky. I want to be able to respect any type of special damage on his side. I think that he could potentially do, you know, like special attacking Incineroar, Blizzard from Alolan Ninetales. I think there's a couple of things there that could potentially put me in a tricky spot. So I want to be able to respect that. Shadow Sneak is a priority attack that allows me to hit Espeon for super effective damage and also potentially knock out a Focus Sash Pokemon. Trick Room will combo really well with Aggron if for some reason I'm not able to get Icy Wind online. And then Ally Switch is going to help me out with keeping that Mega Aggron safe in case there's something like an Incineroar Overheat coming my way. So I think there's a lot of moves here that Gourgeist could use. This last move in particular, I kind of went back and forth on. I thought that Mystical Fire could have some use this week. I thought that Skitter Smack could have some use this week, but we ultimately just settled for Poltergeist, as I don't want Gourgeist to be stuck on the field not doing a lot of damage. It has surprisingly a lot of attack, given that it's a more supportive Pokemon, so Poltergeist can hit for a sneaky amount of damage, and I want to be able to use that to my advantage this week. And with that, let's get to the games. Alright. So no Beartic this week, and no Espeon. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I figured that Espeon would come this week because of its good matchup into Tauros. But there's no Beartic either, so I don't have to deal with Slush Rush stuff, which is good. Also, Espeon only has 3 Bring, so I kind of figured that might be a reason to bring it, but that's okay, I guess. Alright. So, given that there's no Beartic, I'm not surprised to see the Dragalge here. I think that honestly, I'm taking a look at this. I think Mega Aggron could be really well set up here. We're gonna go these two. Clefable. I think it's gonna be Absol as the 4th Bring. It just matches up really well into all this other stuff. I don't really know what Gourgeist is doing here, to be honest, against some of this stuff. It was like really good for Espeon, and it was really good for Beartic. Well, kind of good for Beartic. You could Trick Room and stuff, but not really too much otherwise. So I'm gonna go with these 4. I think this should generally be good. I'm keeping an eye out specifically for that Incineroar's item, and I'm also keeping out for the Ninetales' moveset. I think that a Fairy-type attack with Moonblast is a totally realistic option here. So, let's see what the leads are. Instant Ninetales. Okay, so that makes sense. Alright, so I'm guessing this looks like kind of an Aurora Veil setup. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I could just swing with both here. Of course, I do risk losing something on the Tauros. I think that's fine. I'm going to go Close Combat into the Incineroar. We'll rip Mega right off the bat here and set up an Iron Defense. We'll see. I think because of my spread here, I think I should be able to pick up with Close Combat. I'll have to keep an eye out for a special attack on this Incin here. But otherwise, I think I'll be okay. So I'll make it here. Like, he could fake out either Mon, which would not be great, obviously. Okay, so there's the Moonblast. I don't take that? I don't take that. Okay, that's an issue. Will-O-Wisp. Okay. Man, I really thought that I took that hit. Serious bummer that I don't. Alright, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind in the future then. I think it's still okay, but all of a sudden this Ninetales has become enemy number 1 here. Shoot. Okay. It's really bad letting my Tauros go down that quickly. Heavy Slam almost certainly doesn't pick up, right? I feel like I want to Icy Wind and Protect here. Yeah, really nice play from Matt there. I really thought I would take that Moonblast. I'm honestly shocked that I didn't. But, so be it. Here's Blizzard. I outspeed with Clefable, that's good to know. Okay, Flare Blitz, so it's physical Incineroar. That's good. So we're at least good on that front. And honestly, it's like I could follow me with Clefable here, but I'm not even sure that I want to. So I think what I'll do instead, so like Flare Blitz is threatening, right? But I don't know. I kind of like my potential damage output here. Oh man, letting Tauros down that early was really bad. I should have scouted for that. That's my bad. I think I had a lot of better plays there. I was trying to get around to fake out. So Heavy Slam probably won't pick up, but I think with the Moonblast I can. So we'll go Moonblast here. We'll go Heavy Slam into the Ninetales. I want to be able to get this Absol in a good spot. Instant switches, so this is good. Decidueye here. Okay. Okay, and there's an Icy Winds on the Ninetales, which is kind of annoying, but so be it. Here's Moonblast. Like, obviously I have a lot of my damage reduced, but I would think it's quad effective and it's 120 base power. I would think this picks up. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I kind of figured that was the case. So, cool. So Ninetales is down. Obviously, my Aggron is slow, so I'll have to keep that in mind. The burn is not great because it's reducing my damage down. I'm guessing... Okay, just goes back into Incineroar here. So Heavy Slam's not looking great. I think it's still fine, if you can believe it. I'm a little worried about the Mega Feraligatr in the back, but my defenses are still good. So... I think I go Icy Wind again here, and I want to protect with Aggron. So this breaks a potential Sash on Decidueye. Okay, good play, good play. Fake out gets around that. Okay, and this is physical attacking Decidueye too, so that's good. I will 100% take that. Honestly, I think... Can I just follow me here? I could Icy Wind. The residual damage is adding up here, which is not great. I need to have enough in the tank to be able to win in the long term. So we'll do Icy Wind Body Press here. Okay, dodge a Poltergeist. That's good. Flare Blitz here. Yeah, I was gonna say that does nothing. That's the benefit of Mega Aggron here with the +2. We'll go for another Icy Winds. That's good damage into Decidueye here. I'm curious as to how much Body Press does. It's +2, and I could... Okay, it's Chopal. Chopal on Instant. Not a lot, but that's enough that another Flare Blitz should pick up, I think. So, that's totally fine here. I have to be very mindful of the damage that I'm taking here. I think I want to switch now into abs. Okay, so I could, because it's -1, right? So it's -1 on everything here. So I know my Clefable outspeeds. So I think what I instead want to do is I want to go for Icy Wind into both, and then we'll Body Press again. Swap from the instant, that makes sense. Probably Alligator, right? Yeah, okay. How much does this do? Probably not much, right? Okay, yeah, like 21. The problem is the residual damage is really, really accurate. So, I really need to get on top of that. Body press into the Feraligatr here. Like, I'm just not doing enough damage right now. And it's like, if I can get my Absol into a decent spot, I think it could clean up in the back here. I really don't want to rely on Stone Edge. If I can get around that, that would be good. I think we go Moonblast into Feraligatr. I feel like I should be swinging with Aggron here, but I just don't know what into. It could be another Icy Wind and Heavy Slam, but honestly, I think Heavy Slam does so little damage, I don't really know it helps me. So, we'll do Moonblast and Body Press again. Like, I feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm close. I'm a little worried that I'm not going to have the damage at the end to pull through here. Absol is really well positioned if I can just get in a decent spot. Body, okay. So Body Slam does, like, nothing there. Yeah, and like, I'll probably lose Aggron this turn, but this is turns that they are spending swinging into Mega Aggron. So this will clear Feraligatr. Feraligatr should be gone now. The issue here... So I'm going to lose Aggron now. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that I feel like my Absol is really well positioned. The bad news is that... The bad news is that I'm potentially relying on Stone Edge accuracy to get me through, and I really don't want to do that. But the problem is, I don't think I have a choice. So what's my potential out here? I think it is Moonblast into... Surely 2 Moonblasts is enough to pick up this instant. I would think so. I don't know for sure, though. So, I'll Moonblast here. This could be a double into Fable. I do want to punish that if that comes around. Because I have a very obvious Protect here from Absol, right? The other option is that if it's Colbur... Yeah, I'm going to protect a Moonblast. This feels really obvious, but, okay. Protect there from Decidueye. Yeah, good fake out. He keeps calling that out. And honestly, I really should be punishing him for that one. And I'm just not really doing it, so... I feel like it is now Follow Me. I think it has to be Stone Edge. I could also Sucker here into Decidueye. I think I have to click Stone Edge. I really don't want to do it because it's 80% accurate, but I don't know that I have another choice. I really do not like banking on Stone Edge accuracy, but we will 100% take that. Okay, so Leaf Blade as well. That'll knock me out. Unless there's some calc I'm missing here. It could be like a Colbur Berry situation. But I think I should be able to clean up a Sucker Punch now. Just back on the Alligator. Bye Slam. I think we just keep clicking Sucker Punch until they attack. Okay. Tailwind on Decidueye. So it's Protect. Alright, so now we protect ourselves. So we know all the moves on Decidueye. Yeah, I think we just have to keep playing this game until somebody blinks, basically, because I think Leaf Blade crit could potentially end up costing me here. So I think he has to feel the pressure, I would think, to attack at some point. So I think we just keep clicking it. Just the 2 speed drops. So I think in theory I should outspeed. I've not been keeping track of protects either. Which maybe I should be. So we'll Sucker. This game. Who blinks first? Might be me. It might be me, I have to be honest. Like, if I can call the Tailwinds... Okay. Alright, Psycho Cut ended up KOing anyways. So alright, sweet. So we win game 1. Which is great. We have Flare Blitz. Fake Outs. Will-O-Wisp. And then we had Chopal on the Ensign. Do we know any other items? I don't think we do, other than the Feraligatirites. The fact that that Psycho Cut KO'd makes me think that Decidueye's Focus Sash. Call it a hunch, if you will. I think that this Decidueye is Focus Sash. Okay. So he had to feel pretty good about how that lead played out, because he kind of cooked me on the turn 1 lead, which huge props to him for that. I think I want to play a little bit more safe with... I think the Aggron mode is the correct mode here. I don't really see... I don't really see any world where any other move makes sense here. So I think I'm fine with these 3. And then he was willing to click Moonblast off rip, right? The other option is I could just lead the same thing and then just tell you you can't beat it. Which is a possibility, I think. But I think I'm fine leading these. I know, because we know that the Chople Berry's on instant, we know it's not on Umbreon. So close combat is really good there. The Decidueye could potentially cause some problems. But I think I'm good running it back with the same 4. In all honesty. Yeah. Same 4 Pokemon. Obviously, our leads are different. But I think that these 4 still work. A9 we know has Blizzard and Moonblast. Okay, it's the same lead from him, so that makes sense. I wonder if this Incineroar can take Raging Bull. I mean, I'm max adamant, and I don't have the Intimidate drop. Surely I take it with that. So, I'm protecting Tauros this time. I'm not risking that again. That was way too much. Not good for my heart health. And then we will Moonblast the Incineroar. I think it's probably Fake Out Clefable, Moonblast into Tauros again. I could be wrong. It could potentially not be that. I'm not letting him get me with a Fake Out, though. Or, yeah. Again, he keeps calling... Props to Matt. He keeps calling this out. Which is really good on his part. But yeah, honestly, I think that play was super safe for him. Not really much risk there. So, I'm going to go Raging Bull into Incineroar. And then we'll go Follow Me. Obviously, he could defensively pivot here to get around it. And I suspect that he might. But I still think that this play works. If he tries to set up an Aurora Veil, we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah, so here's the switch. It's going to be for Alligator here. Follow Me gets around a Moonblast. Okay, he just goes for Blizzard. Man. Yeah, no, Matt's playing well. Let's see. I feel like now I want to pivot Tauros out. I really need to get rid of this this Ninetales. I could switch Aggron in, but that's potentially costing Aggron a lot of its health, which makes me really nervous. But I think it makes sense here. We'll go Moonblast into the Feraligatr just to keep it honest. Okay, good protects. Good Blizzard too. Goodness. I'm playing a very dangerous game right now, so I have to be really careful from here on out. Omega from here. And so I could either set up now, or I could go for damage. And honestly, even if I got frozen on Aggron, I think it would still be fine. I think I want this Ninetales gone. I think. And then we'll Moonblast again into Feraligatr. We'll see if he lets me get this. Yeah, I didn't think he would. I mean, the switch is fine. So this brings Incineroar in. And it does probably let it survive Heavy Slam. I'm letting it click Blizzard way too much. Yep, I knew that was coming. I let him click Blizzard way too much, and I think unfortunately because of that, it puts me in a really bad spot. This now gives him a free switch into Feraligatr, which is a huge issue. Yeah. I mean, I could try to stall out Clefable's freeze. Oh! Oh, it's Dragalge. Oh, okay. I'm not really sure what to make of that, to be completely honest. I think we always protect with Aggron here. We could just stall out a turn of Frozen here. Yeah, I don't want anybody taking any damage. If Dragalge takes Clefable, so be it. Yeah, we'll just go for this. Yeah, not really much I could do there. Will-O-Wisp, that makes sense. Oh, Muddy Water. Okay. Not really sure what to make of that. I really wanted Clefable to go down there. Oh my goodness, man. That's really bad. Jeez Louise. Alright. Man, now what? I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's switched to Tauros, and then attack again with Clefable. Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna get burned on Tauros, but Okay, so we thaw at least. So we're gonna get some damage down. It's not gonna be a lot, because it's a very special bulky Pokemon. But that should be Psycho Cut range now, I think. So... Oh, did we dodge? Oh, that's a huge dodge. That's a huge, huge dodge. Oh my goodness, Tauros are dodging everything. Oh, man. Alright, let's go Tauros. Let's go Tauros. Okay. Okay. Now we're in a much, much better spot. That Wisp, I cannot even begin to quantify how huge that Wisp miss was. So, because now we get to switch Absol in. I don't know exactly what the bulk is on this Dragalge. It could also be holding a berry, which would be really annoying. But I think I want it to show it. We'll go Raging Bull into Incineroar. And we're going to Psycho Cut. Now, Feraligatr is the very obvious switch here. And I could, in theory, call that out and go for a close combat. But to be completely honest, I don't want to. I don't really know that he's getting much out of switching Feraligatr in. So now, the Moonblast damage means that it should be in Psycho Cut range, I think. Yeah, so here's the instant swap, which makes sense. Feraligatr's going to switch in. Okay, protects. No, that's fine. I'm actually fine with it. I think he's angling for an Incineroar position. So, like, I could see a world here where he pivots out the Dragalge, goes for Protect with Feraligatr. Because honestly, at that damage output, that's probably in range of close combat, would be my guess. So I could try to punish that with something like Sucker Punch Close Combat. Which maybe I should, because I don't have great ways to hit this Aggron. So you could both go for damage, right? So I think maybe I Close Combat the Feraligatr. No. Yeah. Yeah. I don't love this play. I feel like he's just going to pivot again. Yeah. See, I could have called this. I could have called this out. Which is totally my bad. He Megas. Okay. Yeah, I totally could have called this play out. That's totally my bad. I think this might have been... If he's going to get back into it, this is how he's going to do it. Oh my word, that does nothing. Great play, great play. I could have. Oh, my word. I'm so mad at myself. I absolutely could have called that out. And I didn't. Do I even win this now? I'm not even sure that I win this now, to be honest. I think that letting my Absol go down like that, I think, might have cost me that game. We'll have to see. I don't know. I think... I think I go... So now I go Raging Bull here. I still have to get the Iron Defense up, I think. I think I need it too much for the damage output that's being threatened here. I could just double into the Incineroar, and that would work. I think I have to go Iron Defense here. Oh, I'm so... Yeah, good switch again. My lord, he is cooking me on these switches. We at least get the Iron Defense up, which is good. The problem is that I don't think Feraligator's in range of another... Yeah. I don't think it's in range of another Body Press. Or another Close Combat. It looked like they did like 29%, so I think that comes down to a damage roll. I think my play here is to try and clear the Dragalge with... I think with Body Press here. Okay, so there's a switch. Does this help me? Okay, so at least we got that, so that's good. It does good damage, honestly. I don't know if that's an Aqua Jet range is the issue. Lena's in the chat. Hey, Lena, how's it going? Good to hear from you. Welcome to Twitch. Or at least welcome me to Twitch. I've not been on here for a super long time, so... Okay. Man, I gotta sort this out. He is really making my life difficult here. So... Oh, did I just protect there? Yeah, I did. I did just protect. Oh, so he can get me with Body Slam now. I think I have to Raging Bull the Instant. And Body Press. Okay, it's Fake Out, but it's in the Tauros. Is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. Man. Yeah, because of the... Oh, I'm not sure that I win this now. I'm really not sure that I win this now. I needed to hit the Incineroar there. That's so my bad. The problem is I'm just not confident that I have the damage output to pull through here. I think I'm gonna lose this game. Man, really good switches from Matt there. I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to get out of this. I think I just have to Body Press the Dragalge. It's a resisted hit, and I have to hope that the defense is enough to be able to pull through. I'm not confident that it is. Please, Body Press, please help me out there. Yeah, that's not enough. Yeah, I think he's gonna get me here. Scald's a great tech too. Man. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna lose game 2, I think. I gotta figure out how to adjust for game 3. Just install the mud and water on the Galley. I tried to play it too straightforward. I should have been much more aggressive with my plays there. I think there was opportunity for me to do that. I feel like the 4 is still correct. And he led Ninetales in Sin. Man. Alright, how do I get around this? Still got a game 3. Still got a game 3, so there's still opportunities here to pull this one out. That Incineroar is going to cause me some problems if I don't take care of it immediately. And he was really good at switching to kind of get around it, so I think I have to call out those switches. I think that's my best bet here. So I think I'm going to leave these 2 and go with these 4. I think it's always these 4. I think this is always correct. Okay. Yeah. I think I have to trust that these 4 are going to carry the day. Ugh, really nervous now. Alright, same lead. This has not ever been a surprise. This has always been consistent. I think here we go Protect. We Mega here, and we go Heavy Slam into the Ninetales. So this Ninetales is always pinning me with Moonblast, right? It's the one thing is that he hasn't really been all that protective of it in these games. So I think if I can catch him on a catch that Ninetales on a bad play, it's so difficult, right? You saw Icy Wind, you saw Blizzard, you saw Moonblast. I don't know if we ever saw Intense from the Ninetales. So I think my play here is... I mean, Heavy Slam might not pick up. He could also just fake out Aggron here. Oh my lord, he is really getting me on this. I really thought that I could survive a Moonblast with this spread. That's totally my bad for not accounting for that. So we'll swap into Clefable here. I guess we go for Heavy Slam again. He could Flare Blitz me, and he's probably going to go for Will-O-Wisp, but I think I have to accept that I'm taking the damage here. I don't really know that there's a way for me to get around that. Okay, so here's the Moonblast, so I at least got that right. Nice job, Clefable. This is Will-O-Wisp. And we'll see. Even with the burn, I think this picks up, but it might not. Let's see. No, it doesn't. I need the Moonblast chip. Oh, jeez, I am going through it right now. So we Moonblast here with Clefable. I think we always do that. Gotta shut down an opportunity for them to freeze me. This could be a Tauros switch. But I think we're just gonna go Iron Defense here. Okay, instant switches. That's good. Feraligator's in. Okay, and there's the protect from the Ninetales. That makes sense. The good news is that we get the setup here, which is huge. I could see a world where he then pivots. He now pivots back into Incineroar. So what I want to do, we're gonna Moonblast this slot again, in case the Ninetales stays in. We're gonna Body Press that slot as well. Okay, Feraligator switches. Interesting. Just Incin again? Okay. Does the Ninetales pivot here? No, it stays in. Okay, so I think I'll be able to knock it out regardless of the freeze. We knew that the freeze was a potential option, but because of the burn, I can't get frozen on my Aggron. Yeah, so that picks up Ninetales. Freeze is obviously not good. I think it's still playable, though, which is the big thing. Okay, so this is the Dragalge. I need the Moonblast chip down in order to be able to knock it out with Psycho Cut. So I could just swing with Aggron here, given that, which I might need to. Man, I really don't know what to do here. I think it's Moonblast Body Press here. Okay, fake out into Aggron, that's fine. Thank you, Clefable. Oh my lord. I needed that bad. Okay, that's good damage. That's Psycho Cut KO range. I'll take that. Yeah, so Sludge Bomb will knock me out here. But that's fine. I'm going to bring in Absol here. I don't want to give him a chance to get more damage down. He's kind of been calling me on my plays here, because I've been playing it really, really straightforward. I think it's always... I think I want to protect first. Let's protect first, because I think that he knows that the Absol is a threat here. And we're going to Body Press into the Incineroar. So what this can do here, yeah, so Incineroar switches. And this is probably a protect from the Dragalge here, would be my guess. Yep, okay, perfect. So... that's good damage onto Feraligator. I will totally take that. So now comes the question of, is he gonna pivot that Feraligator out? I think he... or pivot the Dragalge out. I think he will. So I want to bring Tauros in now. And I want to Body Press the Feraligator again. I think that should put it in close combat range. Stays in, okay. Oh man, I'm gonna have to start calling protects here in a minute if I'm not careful. That's good damage. Body Press. Okay, so we at least get that. Oh man, I think I go down to another Scald. And he could totally pivot the Incineroar in here. There's not really much I can do about it. So I have to close combat here, I think. I think I have to Body Press as well. I'll probably lose Aggron here. Okay, Feraligatr switches. This gets rid of the Chople. Ooh, I pick up a body press, right? Yeah, I should pick up a body press. It's +2 body press. Okay. Yeah, I'm going through it right now. Scald will knock out Aggron. But at least I saved my Absol here. Okay. Problem is I have these Intimidates on Tauros, so I'm not super confident that a close combat will allow me to pick up. It's just -1. I think it can do it. I think close combat can pick up. I think what we first do here is we protect with both Pokemon. I want to scout for a protect on Matt's end. Okay, so there's a protect from Feraligatr. Okay, so he's doing the same thing. Makes sense. Man, this feels like the pivotal turn. But because of that protect, I think I'm okay. So I think what I can do is I can do close combats, Psycho Cuts. I don't know that close combat picks up, is the thing. But I think I just have to hope that it does, or at least hope that Psycho Cut picks up. Because if I can get one knockout, I should win because of my speed advantage. Oh, thank God. Oh, my lord. Okay, huge pickup. Huge pickup. Psycho Cut should move next. Oh, no. Oh, but it's in the Tauros. Oh, it's in the Tauros. Okay. Okay. I think we win now. Okay, so he can protect here. I can go for Psycho Cut. Oh, my word. I think I'm going to pull it out. Unless there is any world where the Strigalgi outspeeds. It's got a really low base stat. I'm running a lot of speed on my Absol. This should do it. I think. Okay, double protect. Doesn't get it. And we pull through at 5-2. Oh my word, that was a close one. That was a really close one. Oh my goodness. GG's to Matt. He was teched out of his mind. Really good sets this week. Man, I think my play was a little sloppy at times. And I really need to clean that up a little bit, especially in the game one. Letting Tauros go down to the Moonblast like that was obviously not ideal. But yeah, we managed to pull through. And yeah, I guess managed to pick up the win. Really close set. GG's to Matt. He played really well this week. The fact that he's 1-5 is kind of shocking to me. He played really well. I'm very happy to pull through with that set, but man, he did not make it easy. That was really close. So GG's to him. And yeah, Alrighty, after that nail biter set, let's do some takeaways, starting with what worked. Heading into this week, I thought that Mega Aggron could be a really big win condition for me, and after having played this set out, I think I could safely say that I was correct in identifying it. Body Press and Heavy Slam ended up doing a ton of damage across the board, and Mega Aggron was not a Pokemon that Matt could clear quickly, so being able to get that damage down and allow for Absol and Clefable to be able to clean up ended up working out really well in my favor. Speaking of Absol, Absol ended up coming in a clutch in several different spots in this set. Stone Edge to clear the Incineroar was a big reason why I won that game 1, and in game 3, using Psycho Cut to clear the Dragalge ultimately ended up working really well in my favor, so I was extremely happy with how Absol played this week. Additionally, I was happy about my headspace in managing to keep my cool despite those bad Blizzard freezes. I think whenever bad RNG like that happens, it's really easy to get frazzled, start blaming the bad RNG for how you play. But ultimately, I was really happy with the fact that I was able to identify that I could still win despite how bad those Blizzard freezes were, and that the Blizzard freezes ultimately didn't end up punishing me too much. Now, I do think that there is some takeaways there to clear Pokemon like that Alolan Ninetales earlier so that I don't open myself up to that bad RNG, but I'm happy about the headspace I was able to keep myself in anyways. Let's talk about what didn't work, and let's start with Tauros going down immediately in that game 1. I'll be honest, that was a really bad play on my end. I thought I had trained Tauros to be able to better take that Moonblast, but ultimately, as we saw, it didn't end up working out in my favor. So I have to do a better job of the builder of finding better guarantees on hits like that so that I'll be able to take them in the future. I think there were several spots in the team builder as well where I just simply got out-prepped. Matt did a really good job of hiding that Payapa Berry all the way up until the very end. Will-O-Wisp was something that I thought could be an issue heading into this week, but I didn't prep well enough for it, and that's something I got to identify a little better. And stuff like that Chople Berry on Incineroar ended up being really, really good for Matt, and I knew that that was something I could prepare for, and I thought I could adequately cover with Raging Bull, but I didn't find good enough spots to be able to use it, so that's ultimately on me for not taking advantage. So props to Matt in the way that he prepped in the builder. I think he had some really good techs this week. And additionally, I just played it too safe in that game too. I was able to build a large lead thanks to that huge Will-O-Wisp and Muddy Water Miss on my Tauros, and ultimately I just let it get away from me because I played it too safe. I think that there were a lot of opportunities there to be able to take advantage of some safe switches and potentially punish the other slot, but I didn't end up taking advantage of that, and so that's ultimately on me. I've got to do a better job of identifying when to play aggressive and when to take my foot off the gas. And in each game, let's talk about the game 1. Even though I was able to lose Tauros early, I still pulled through with Absol and Aggron. Clefable's Moonblast damage also ended up being really helpful for key calcs such as clearing that Alolan Ninetales and getting some other damage down early. Again, really happy with how Absol played in that game, and I think that Aggron's damage, despite the burn, ended up coming in really clutch, so really happy about that. In game 2, I ended up letting a big lead slip by me. I think that there were a lot of opportunities there to call out Matt's switches, as I previously mentioned, but I just didn't take advantage of that. I played too safe, thinking that just doing the safe play every single time would lead me to a win, when that wasn't necessarily the case. I think that there should have been more opportunities for me to call those switches and heavily punish them as I could. Additionally, I think that my targeting could have been better. I think I left the Incineroar on the field towards the end of that game, and I think if I had cleared it earlier, I think there was an avenue for me to still win. And additionally, game 3 is kind of what we would call a barn burner game. It was a really close set. I wouldn't call it a particularly pretty set, but I'm really happy with how I managed to find a way to win. I think there was definitely a possibility that I could have lost there, but that's just one of those games where you try to find ways to win despite how the game ends up playing out. So really happy with how I managed to keep my composure in that game 3. Here is a quick look at the conference standings after 7 weeks of regular season play. We have 1 week left, and these standings come with some good news for me. Because I was able to win my match this week, and because a couple of other results ended up going my way, I am ultimately guaranteed to make the playoffs thanks to the strength of schedule tiebreaker. As you might imagine, I am quite thrilled by the fact that I was able to make the playoffs in an 18-person conference, which is certainly not easy for me at all, and I'm happy that I was able to do it with the 5th hardest schedule in the entire league this year. So really happy about that. Of course, there is still room for my playoff seeding to still change. So I can't rest too much next week, even though my playoff spot is locked up. I will still have to win if I hope to improve on my playoff seeding heading into the postseason. That'll do it for this week. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I will catch you all next week for the regular season finale of the Hoot Hoot Draft Association Season 2.